Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm Stefania. Today I'm gonna do a little flip through of my reading journal after the month of February. I know that by the time that this video will go online, probably it's gonna be almost the end of March, but I'm sorry about it. I wanted to post before the plan with me and the flip through after it. This time I'm gonna be honest, I want to make definitely a shorter video, so I'm gonna go a little bit faster through the yearly pages because I've already explained them in the previously flip through. In case you missed it, go and check it out. As always, I'm still using my notebook by Notebook Therapy. I'm still obsessed with it. And here comes the sad news. I don't think I'm gonna be able to close this one for the wall here. Like, it's already this big only after 2 months. So, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to go through it by the end of the year. Also, I was thinking this one would have lasted me for the wall here, but maybe it won't. I'm starting thinking that I will reach probably September or October with it, and then I will run out of pages. So I'll probably have to move to another one, but in that case I want to recreate all the yearly pages. I will just let them here and keep on updating them here. First of all, because I don't want to go through that whole process of creating them again, and because I don't like the idea of having them here and not fill them in fully, if it makes sense. As always, we start with the name page and my color code. Then there is the cover page. Books of 2022, I've added 5 books because in February I managed to read 5 books. I was hoping for something more, but it's okay. It was still a good number for me. Bingo! I've managed to read a book with more than 300 pages. I've read a book that I wanted to read because of its own cover. And I've read a book with a blue cover. My reading tracker, as you can see, I couldn't read each single day in February. On the 4th, I was feeling extremely bad, my head was arching like crazy, so the idea of even opening a book was out of this world. And on the 23rd again, I didn't even read a single page. Well, I've managed to read a little bit every single other day, so I'm happy with it. I've read for 26 days for a total of 1,304 pages. My Goodreads challenge, as you can see, it's the first one that we're gonna have a 1 star and also a 5 star. This was definitely a no. This was perfect. Books read in 2022, and we're talking about these 5 books today, like actually not talking because as always I don't want to give any spoiler, and I want to really talk about them that much. As you can see, this one, Quasi, Sempre, Felici, Contenti, it's an Italian one, was the one that I really didn't like at all, while Pride and Prejudice was my 5 stars. So really happy about that. And it wasn't only my 5 star, but it was also my favorite book of the month. So for February, this was my book. Series tracker, it's almost the same as last month. Like I didn't update it anything with more series, even if I probably should have. I've only colored 1 circle, but now that I'm shooting this video after this, I'm gonna be able to color this second and the third one because I finished them in March. And yeah, that's it. Books. As you can see, for February I went more for physical books and only one ebook. I love physical books, while I'm just starting right now to get more into ebooks, especially for those kind of books that probably I won't like them too much, that I won't be I want a physical copy of it. I know it makes no sense, but let's try to ignore it. But definitely February went back a lot to my favorite, which is physical books. We'll see what March is gonna be about. You should read, it's pointless to show it to you because first, I still have to update it. Second, I haven't read anything that has been suggested to me this month. Reading stats, as for January I only filled in the first page, while for the others, as I've mentioned before, I'm gonna do it definitely in the future, but near almost the end of the year, I would say. For February I managed to read 5 books with a total of 1,304 pages, 1 ebooks and 4 physical books. And that's all for my yearly pages. Now we're gonna go straight to February. In case you want to see my January spreads, go and check out that video, because I won't talk about them again today. And here we go with February. This is the cover page that I've created, and you can see me doing it in my Plan With Me video. Be sure to check it out in case you missed it. As I've mentioned in that video, I didn't want to add flowers all over again, but since I still have a lot of stickers still after this month, which are all about flowers, I have to use them, because elsewhere I keep on buying more and not using them, and I'm not okay with it, so yeah. My February monthly view and my reading tracker. My monthly view, I've explained it in my January flip through how it actually works. In case you want to know it, it's well explained in that video, but simply I write down the title of the book in a color when I start it, in another one when I finish it, and I also use a color code to see if the book was a physical book or an ebook. My reading tracker, as you can see, there have been some good days. I managed to read 124 pages, which is a lot for me. I'm pretty sure I said this when I did my setup of the year. It's my very first real reading journal, to actually put a lot of myself into it, if it makes sense. And I wasn't sure about how many books I could read in a month, how many pages, because I started taking the good habit of reading a little bit each single day at the end of 2021. So for me, seeing that I can read a little bit every day, and in some of these days read even more than 100 pages, super proud of myself. Books of February. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, this is definitely a spread that has to be done in 2 pages and not on only 1. As always, I've used the same stamp to create the little reading list. Since it's going this way, let's call it this way. And here I've added the 5 books that I've read this month. I was hoping to read a little bit more, but it's okay. I think I already said it before, but I'm really happy that I still managed to read different books, especially in a month that's shorter than the others. I just think that maybe all the books that I've read in January put up my expectation a little bit higher than what they should be, but it's okay. And then I have my February review page. If you've seen my Plan With Me video for the next month, so for March, which is actually the month in which we are into, I've explained how I've decided to create this page here and not at the end after all the different spreads for each single book, because since this page kind of stick up to the theme of the different monthly pages, I wanted to have them all together. So instead of putting it at the end like I've done for January, which in case you forgot, it was like this. You had the pages for the month with the same theme. Then there were the different spreads with their own personal theme, and then again we're going back to the same theme for the review page. And for my brain it wasn't fine, so yes, just so you know, I decided to put it at the beginning and not at the end. In February I managed to read 5 books. One was an ebook and the other were all physical books. I gave a total of 18 stars and half. Bingo! I read a book with a blue cover, a book with more than 300 pages, a book that I like because of its cover. I've read 1,304 pages. Definitely a no for Quasi Sempre, Felici, Contenti. I've read for 26 days this month, and I read a classic that was also my favorite book, which was Pride and Prejudice. And now it's time to go with the books. My first book was All Your Perfects. I think that I've decided to start the month with this book without expecting it to be full of emotion. Instead, it goes through some important topics which definitely will make you cry at some point, and you're gonna really feel what this woman is feeling, what she's going through. It's gonna kind of, let's say, become part of you. As always, I'm trying not to talk too much because I don't want to give any spoilers in case you want to read the book. And one more thing, as always, the photos of the books that you're gonna find in all my spreads aren't made by me, except for one this month. So credit to the right owners. I will try to link them all in the description box as I've done last time. There is only one problem, that if I find the photos on Instagram, I save them, like I can research them and find them, so I exactly know who posted it, like to get the right credit. But sadly, when I take them from Pinterest or other sites, I never remember to save them. So in that case, I will just write credit to the right owner. So if I'm not crediting you, please let me know in case I forgot about you. I'm sorry, but I didn't take them, so just to be clear. I've started the month with Colleen Hoover, and I've finished it again with her. We're gonna talk about that later. My next book is The Kingdom of Back. Basically, a little bit before Christmas, my brother called me and was like, send me a Christmas list, like what would you want to get. And I've put a lot of books there, and he decided to go and pick up for a book, and this one was one of them. I was very, very curious about it. I wanted to read it, and I feel a little bit in the middle. Like, there were some parts that I totally loved. I was really feeling what the girl was feeling. I was really connecting, like being part of the story, but each single time she was going in the Kingdom of Back, I was kind of feeling like I was pushed out again. I know it makes no sense, but that's how I felt. So yeah, definitely should have been, probably it could have been better according to me, because as always, these are my own personal opinions. Everyone has their own, and we should all respect each other for this. I really liked it, but I'm sure I would have liked it even more if it wouldn't be for that part. For all these parts, actually, there were a lot. Anyway, it's definitely something that I think people should read it. Like, it's not like, let's say, kind of a waste of your time. It's definitely a book that it's a pleasure to read it, but not a 5-star book, of course. Then we go with Quasi Sempre, Felici, Contenti, which is my no book for the month. I decided to buy this one because of the cover. I know what you're gonna tell me. Never judge a book by the cover. Never buy a book only for the cover. And I didn't buy this one only for the cover. Like, the first thing that attracted me was the cover. But then when I read what it was about, I was really like, oh, I want to read it. But it was a big waste of my time. I'm sorry. I've gave it 1 star and a half. The only reason why I didn't give it 1 star is because usually I have a weird way of reading things. I give 1 star to a book that I'm not gonna even be able to finish. Like, it's gonna be such a pain that I'm just gonna drop the book without finishing it. In that case, you're gonna get 1 star. So technically, my 1 star and a half could be a 1 star for other. Read different reviews, and they even got me like, oh yes, of course, now I like the cover, I like the story, the reviews are good. Well, it looks like what I've read and what the people who wrote down those reviews read were in the same book, at least according to me. Sophia, the main character, is definitely a woman I wouldn't want to look up to. It's definitely a character that is not a strong woman, definitely doesn't know how to restart from herself. It's just a no. A big, big no. And I don't even think it was translated in any other language. I'm not sure about it though, and I'm not even gonna waste my time on searching for that, honestly. It's definitely a book that I would never, never, never recommend to anyone. I don't know why a lot of people in the review gave it 5 stars. I have no idea. Plus, the writing has certain words, can happen here and there, but in some parts it's really like you just want to close it down and stop reading it because of some words in the way they're used in their, I don't know, it's definitely a no. Plus, too many missing parts, too many pointless moments, things that, no. If you really want to create a character that has to be a strong woman, well, this one definitely didn't manage to. Absolutely no. Let's move from the worst book of the month to the best one, which is Pride and Prejudice. I'm super happy that I read it, first of all because I read another classic and this is like a big surprise for me. As you know from last month, I gave it a try with White Nights. It was a total, I would say, an epic fail. I'm really happy I've tried again because I loved this one. I wasn't expecting to. I don't know why, I was skeptical about it, but I just fell in love. It's not the typical love story that's love at first sight. It's let's say that the love here between the characters grows with time, and you start to getting really into Elizabeth's head. You're gonna start thinking what she thinks, and you're gonna really feel her feelings. It's definitely a book worth your time. I would recommend it to anyone, and just because it was written so many years ago, it shouldn't be considered something to be forgotten, if it makes sense. I loved it. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the movie or not, because for me it's always like that. First you read the book and then you watch the movie, because if I'm gonna watch the movie, I know I won't read the book at all. But what makes me happy is that so many things happen in the book, but they're not like throw them all together that's gonna create let's say a big mess. They're gonna arrive all at the right time, and they won't be like thrown there as yes this happened but it's not important, like it's a big thing, it's happened, and the next few pages we're gonna completely forget about it. I don't know if it makes sense, but it was definitely well made. I've decided to use this beautiful fan art that I found out. I know you're gonna tell me you could have used some photos from the movie, but I didn't want to, so I didn't do. And as always, I didn't say it before, I will also link the stickers shop below in the description box. The only thing that makes me sad about this spread is that when I started creating it, I did a big mess with the title. That's why actually this is not the notebook page. It was a normal white paper. I printed on it the dots and then attached them here to cover up the mess. But it was pointless because then I did more mess and covered it up again with some other of paper. Like, yeah, I was so mad with myself for writing the spread for the favorite book of the month, but I moved forward it. The only negative note about this way of fixing it is that when I close it, I have to close it this way, or one will go under the other here and create a problem. Anyway, the fifth and last book, so we're gonna finish this video as fast as we can. As I've mentioned, I started with Clonover. I had to finish with her again. I found out about her only last year because sadly a lot of her books have never been translated in Italian, so I never literally, I'm gonna be honest, saw her at any bookstore, so or I was looking for it online, or I was never finding a book by her. Last year I randomly came across her and I fell in love, and just like last year, whenever I start with her, I can't stop. I keep on going from a book of hers to another one, always by her. So yes, I decided to start this series, and at the moment I'm doing this flip through. I've already finished also the second and the third book, but whatever I've written here was referred only about the first book. And I've decided to read it in English because first I didn't know it was translated in Italian. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm even looking up at her books in Italian anymore. Also because there is this weird thing that happen, like they translate the first book, then the second, then maybe the third, but then if there are more books coming out, even if they're just short novels, nothing big, they won't get translated. And it is painful for me to have, for example, the first book in Italian, then the second one in English. No, they have to be all in. It's pointless. It's kind of like I have this exactly edition, this one, and so of course the second or the third book had to be in this from the same edition, so with the same style for cover page and everything. I'm weird, I know. Anyway, I like this one. It's pretty fast to read, and as always, it's a catchy one. For sure, it was the one that I liked the most. The second one, I liked it a little bit less, and the third one, a little bit less than the second one. So yeah, now I'm gonna do anything that I can to start a book which is not by her, because I want to move away from this. So yeah, then there is my March cover page. So yeah, basically this has been my February for my reading. I'm really happy with some of the books, extremely disappointed with other, but it's okay. This happens always. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumb up and leave a little comment, and let me know what books have you read in February, so maybe we can talk about them, or maybe I can find my next book to read. This is what I'm talking about. It's extremely... Sorry, I had to do it for the sound. Thank you so much for watching and for staying here with me for this whole time. See you next time. Bye!